Hello dear students, welcome back to the NCERT Science class of 10th standard. Dear students, in the previous class we have studied about the mode of nutrition, in which we have studied about the very first one, that is about the autotrophic mode of nutrition, isn't it? Where the green plants prepare their own food with the help of sunlight from the sun, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, water from the ground, with the help of green color pigment that is called as the chlorophyll, and they stored in the form of starch. Green plants, whatever the carbohydrates are produced, with the help of photosynthetic process, they store in the form of starch, excess starch. And also we have studied the different stages or the steps which are involved in the photosynthetic process. The first one, green plants trap the sunlight or absorb the sunlight from the sun. Next, convert the sunlight into chemical energy. The next, after this one, reduction of water molecule, like the different steps that we have studied in the previous class. Now dear students, we are going to study, that is the another mode of nutrition, that is the second one, that is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. What is heterotrophic mode of nutrition? Here dear students, first of all we should have to know the meaning of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. See here what happens? It is a mode of nutrition in which the organisms depends on the other organisms for their food. Autotrophic mode of nutrition means the organisms which prepare their own food. Mode of nutrition in which the organisms prepare their own food. But here in case of heterotrophic mode of nutrition, the organisms will not prepare their own food. That organisms depends on the other organisms for their food. Here dear students, one common thing we know, that both the mode of nutrition or the organisms which are present in both the mode of nutrition, that is autotrophic mode of nutrition and heterotrophic mode of nutrition, they need food for the survival. Yes? Here what happens dear students? In case of heterotrophic mode of nutrition, they depends on the other organisms, they feeds on the other organisms. But in case of autotrophic mode of nutrition, they prepare themselves. Yes? Next dear students, here heterotrophic mode of nutrition means which feeds on the other organism. Hetero means other, that depends on the others. Different, hetero means different. They will get the food from the different sources. Yes? Next dear students, based on the availability of food, that is heterotrophic mode of nutrition is classified into different types. See dear students, heterotrophic, in case of heterotrophic mode of nutrition, all animals comes under the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. And also non-green plants comes under the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Yes? Here, depending on the availability of food, heterotrophic mode of nutrition again classified into 4 the types. Number of types are there in case of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Here, based on the availability of food, we are classifying the living organisms into different types. See, based on the availability of food, see, sometimes the food may be mobile, and in some cases the food may be stationary. See how the stationary and mobile. See deer that gets the food from the plants are herbivorous animals. Herbivorous animals means those animals which feeds on the green plants or plant products are called as the herbivorous. It means they feeds on the plants. Plants are the stationary. They are not movable. It means plants are stationary, they feeds on the plants. The food is a stationary. isn't it? It is available at one side. It means it's not movable. The food is means food source is not a mobile. The food source is a stationary, isn't it? On that basis only we can say that herbivorous. The next, all herbivorous animals, they are getting the food from the stationary source, that is from the plants. Next comes the food source may be mobile. Food source may be mobile, means movable. Here what happens, dear students? The carnivorous animals, they get the food from the other animals. Animals are the movable. For example, a lion or a tiger catches the deer or other animals for their food, feed on the other animals. It means whatever the animals, those are movable, on which the tiger is feeding. It means that is the food is mobile. Plants are the source of food, they are the stationary. Isn't it? Based on the availability of food, we can divide the heterotrophic mode of nutrition into mainly two types, that is stationary and second one is mobile. Then again further we are classifying food may be either mobile or stationary. Again we are classifying into different types, that is saprophytes, parasites, then next detritus, and different types are there, isn't it? See here what happens, dear students. Some living organisms, they take the food, they will not take inside, means they will digest outside the body. First they secrete the enzymes. Whenever a living organism, suppose from beginning I will tell you, here the saprophytes, mainly the saprophytes, for example fungi and all, when it gets the food, first it secretes the digestive enzymes on that food. They digest outside the body only. Then whatever the digested food is there, then that will take inside the body, or the nutrients they will take inside the body. It means digestion takes place outside the body. That is the good example in saprophytes. Saprophytes or saprotrophs, they digest the food outside the body. Next come to the parasites. Before going to parasites, some living organisms are there. They take the food inside their body and digest the food inside the body. See here, the human being takes the food orally and digests the food inside their body. Isn't it? That's why some living organisms digest their food outside the body. The example is saprophytes. Some living organisms digest the food inside the body. The next, some living organisms are there. They feed on the other living organisms. And also, see, such living organisms are called as the parasites. Here, dear students, parasites depends on the dead and decaying organic matter. A dead and decaying organic matter for the food. Also, we can define saprophytes. Saprophytes are those organisms which depends on a dead and decaying organic matter for their food. But parasites are those organisms. Parasites are those organisms which depends on the living organisms. For example, leech on the dog sucks the blood from the dog. That is called as the parasites. Yes. The next, dear students, in case of different living organisms, the mode of nutrition or the mode of digestion of food is different in different living organisms. We can compare ourselves to the different grass-eating animals like cow and buffalo, domestic animals we can compare, isn't it? See here what happens, dear students. The ways of nutrition in different organisms. The first one in case of multicellular organisms. In case of multicellular organisms, huge animals, you can take the huge animals like that is take human being or take any grass eating animals like cow, buffalo, I know. Yes. Here what happens in case of multicellular organism? In case of multicellular organisms, they are having a particular digestive tract. In case of higher animals or multicellular organisms, they are having a particular digestive organ. Isn't it? Because they are made up by the multicellular number of cells. Next, come to the unicellular organisms or the microorganisms, the single cell organisms like amoeba that is made up by a single cell. It doesn't have a digestive system. It doesn't have a respiratory system. It doesn't have any other systems. Then how it is getting digested? Sir, it is a unicellular organism. It doesn't need any digestion at all. No, living organisms, all living organisms takes food for their survival. Amoeba is a living being, living thing or living organism. It also needs the food. Means when it takes the food, it has to digest. Amoeba also has to digest the food. Then how it is digested? It will digest. Amoeba is also digest the food. Amoeba is also getting the food. Amoeba is also showing the respiration. Amoeba also shows the excretion. All these processes are going on in amoeba by or in a single cell animals by diffusion. By diffusion. By a process called as the diffusion. Diffusion, you know the meaning of diffusion? By a process called as the diffusion. In case of amoeba, the unicellular organisms, the process of digestion is going on by diffusion. Next, we come to the dear students here in case of amoeba. Here what happens? Amoeba, in examination he asks, most of the times he asks the digestion of amoeba, explain the digestive system of amoeba, digestive system of paramecium, digestive system of that human being and other grass eating animals also you ask. See here what happens, dear students. Amoeba is an irregular shaped living being. Irregular shaped living being which is having the falsae called as the pseudopodia. The next and the center and nucleus is there. Then when it gets the food, when it gets a food molecule, in between the pseudopodia, with the help of these pseudopodia are the false leg, it forms, amoeba forms a food vacuum. Amoeba forms a food vacuum. Yes, amoeba forms a food vacuum. Food vacuum. First, amoeba is having the pseudopodia. When it gets the food, it forms a food vacuole around the food molecule and secretes the number of digestive enzymes. Secretes the number of digestive enzymes in the food vacuole and digests the food in the food vacuole and digests the food material in the food vacuole and it absorbs the nutrient molecule, whatever the nutrient molecule is present in the food, and absorbs and circulates through the process of diffusion. Next, after this one, dear students, whatever the undigested food material is there, undigested food material which comes in contact again, that food material, food vacuole come in contact with the cell wall, cell membrane, that undigested food, then it will be opens. Again, it will opens, the food vacuole will opens, the undigested food material will be ejaculated out from the body. Isn't it? It means in case of unicellular organism like amoeba shows the digestion by a process of diffusion. I will show that is here I explained how the digestive system is going on. I will explain again. In case of amoeba, The amoeba is irregular shaped living being which is present in the animal, which is present in the water, or it is an aquatic animal. See, irregular shaped amoeba is having a false leg called as the pseudopodia. This pseudopodia helps in the formation of food vacuole. And whenever the amoeba gets a food material in between the two pseudopodia, it forms a food vacuole around the food material with the help of these pseudopodia. These food vacuole that will take the food vacuole will take inside the amoeba body. Then and secretes the hydrolytic enzymes or the digestive enzymes in the food vacuole to digest the whatever the food material enter into the body. It digests the food and absorbs the nutrients and circulate through the body by a process called as the diffusion, and undigested food material that will be removed out by opening the a food vacuole from at one side. Yes. Next, dear students, the nutrition in paramecium. See, some microscopic unicellular organisms are having the minute opening for the entry of food or taking of food. In such situation, see here a microscopic living organism that is paramecium. Simply I draw a diagram which is having the cilias. Which is having cilia or the hair-like projection that is called as the cilia. Here one opening that is called as the osculum. That food entering molecule. See, whenever the paramecium gets a food molecule, when the paramecium gets a food molecule, that food molecule will move towards the osculum through the movement of cilias. Due to the movement of cilias, the food molecule will move towards the openings where the food will take into the body and digest the food by secreting the digestive enzymes, isn't it? The remaining rest of the waste material is also thrown out through this same opening into the outside, in the surrounding. Yes. Next, come to the most important concept, that is digestion in human being. Digestion in human being. See, dear students, in case of human being, the digestion or digestive system is complete or complex digestive system is present, which ends or which extends from the mouth to the anus. Isn't it? The different parts are there. The human digestive system includes, it depends mainly on the two parts. The first one is digestive tract, and next second one is digestive glands. Isn't it? Human digestive system depends on two components. The first one is digestive tract, which extends from the mouth to the anus. The next, digestive glands, which helps in the digestion of food. Yes, these are the two components. The first one, the parts of human digestive system includes the mouth or buccal cavity. The next, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, duodenum, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. These are the parts of human digestive tract. The next, come to the digestive glands. If food molecule moves through the digestive tract, the food will not digest. Food will not digest. Food may crush down, but food will not digest. For the digestion of food, it needs special types of chemical substances. These chemical substances in the form of enzymes. Yes, these enzymes are secreted from the special kinds of glands that is called as the digestive glands. The different digestive glands are present in our body. First, in case of mouth. See here, we will begin with the digestive system with the different steps. See, first one, digestion in mouth. First of all, digestion in mouth. See, dear students, when we see the digestive system, it will begin with the first step, that is mouth. The mouth or the oral cavity or buccal cavity, we can say. The buccal cavity contains a pair of lips, guarded by a pair of lips, and 16 pairs of teeth are there. a muscular tongue, the next three pairs of salivary glands. That is the main components of the mouth or the buccal cavity, which helps in the digestion of food. In the first step, how the food digestion is going on. First I mentioned that is parts of buccal cavity. Pair of lips, 16 pairs of teeth, a muscular organ, and 3 pairs of salivary glands. Yes? Next, dear students, the first one, that is pair of lips which encloses the mouth during the crushing and all. Next, 16 pairs of teeth. You might have studied in earlier classes in the 7th or 8th standard. That is types of teeth. Incisors, canines, premolar, molar, and yes, that helps in the crushing down of food molecule. Then a muscular tongue is there that helps in the molding the food during the crushing of food. And also, along with that, more important task, that is a more important task of the tongue is to take the taste of the food material. Yes, the different sides are there, different regions on the tongues are there. The taste is taken by the tongue. It is due to the presence of the taste buds on the tongue. When we see the tongue very keenly, then we will see the minute bulges like structures. These bulges are called as the taste buds. They help in the taking the taste of food. The next, dear students, after this one, after these components, again 3 more components are there, that is called as these 3 pairs of salivary glands. These 3 pairs of salivary glands secretes the saliva. If food crushed down, then digestion will not take place. To digest the food, it needs the chemical enzymes called as by the special organs, that is called as the glands. These glands secretes the chemical substance that is in the form of enzymes. The next, dear students, here in the mouth, what happens? Saliva is secreted from the salivary glands, which contains salivary amylase. The salivary amylase digests the starch or carbohydrate. Salivary amylase digests the starch, which is a carbohydrate, into the simple sugars. In the mouth, digestion of carbohydrates takes place. The food contains different nutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, fats. First, carbohydrate digestion takes place in the mouth. Yes, with the help of salivary amylase. The next, dear students, after that food material, after the digestion of food in the mouth, the food will enter into the further part of the digestive system, that is called as the pharynx. And next, the pharynx will open into the esophagus. It is a long tube-like structure. The food will not store here, means that will not remain. That will be moved down with the help of a movement that is called as the peristaltic movement in the esophagus. In case of human digestive system, the first step is oral cavity or buccal cavity, that is guarded by a pair of lips, 16 pairs of teeth, a muscular tongue, and next 3 pairs of salivary glands are there. Here, first pair, second, and 3 pairs of salivary glands are there. The next, dear students, the buccal cavity opens into a pharynx, which is present in the neck region. Then from the pharynx, it will be enter into a esophagus. The long tube-like structure, its length is more than 20 centimeter. Yes, 20 to 25 centimeter long. Then the esophagus, the food will not remain in the esophagus. That will be moved down in the form of bolus. That due to the moment that shows the continuous movements, that movement is called as the peristaltic movement. The food will enter into the stomach region. That is J-shaped bag-like structure. That is the important part of the digestive system, that is called as the digestion. See the stomach, the digestion in the stomach we will study here. Dear students, in the stomach, three kinds of secretions will occur. Before going to study these secretions, the stomach is a J-shaped structure. J-shaped structure. The outer wall of the stomach is a smooth one. The inner wall is having a number of infoldings or grooves. Infoldings. These infoldings having the rugae. These infoldings called as the villi. These villi increase the surface area. These increase the surface area and also helps in the digestion or the crushing down of the food molecule. Isn't it? That is J-shaped structure, bat-like structure, whose outer surface is a smooth one. The inner surface is having the infoldings called as the grooves or the villi. Then next, dear students, here in case of stomach, the three kinds of secretions occurs. The first one is gastric juice. The second one is hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Gastric juice. The first one is gastric juice. The second one is hydrochloric acid. The third one is mucus. Mucus. Three types of secretion takes place in the stomach. The gastric juice helps in the digestion of protein. Next, dear students, the gastric juice contains the different enzymes, pepsin and all, rennin and pepsin. The next, dear students, hydrochloric acid. The second secretion, that is hydrochloric acid, which is acid in nature. The next, it secretes in the gastric glands, which is present in the stomach, that which facilitate the hydrochloric acid facilitates the gastric juice, which facilitates the gastric juice. Hydrochloric acid facilitates the gastric juice or the gastric juice to or the pepsin to digest the protein. Pepsin, the hydrochloric acid facilitate or stimulate the pepsin to digest the protein. To digest the protein. Yes, to digest the protein, the hydrochloric acid is secreted. The next, along with that, the mucus is secreted. A sticky substance that is called as the mucus, that is also secreted by the gastric glands. The main function of mucus is to protect the inner wall of the stomach. To protect the inner wall of the stomach. Why? See, hydrochloric acid is a very dangerous acid. Hydrochloric acid is a very dangerous acid, which may affect on the inner wall. Hydrochloric acid is a very dangerous acid. It may not be affect the inner wall. That's why mucus protects the inner wall of the stomach. Mucus forms a thin layer or sticky layer on the villi to protect the villi from the hydrochloric acid or the acid. Isn't it? The main function, these main functions are mentioned. Next, we come to the students. The food will be crushed down and protein digestion takes place. Then next, after this one, the food will move towards the anterior part of the small intestine. The anterior part of the small intestine, that is called as the duodenum. The anterior part of the digestive system, that is called as the duodenum. In the duodenum region, what happens to the students? The two largest glands are attached. The first one is liver and second one is pancreas. See, this one largest gland of the body, that is called as the liver, and the second one is pancreas, which is attached on the duodenum region. The liver secretes the bile juice, which helps in the emulsification of fat. Yes. Next, pancreas contains the number of enzymes, that is called as the pancreatic enzyme. Here, the most important that is pancreatic enzyme called as the trypsin, which digests the proteins and lipids. The pancreas contains the different types of enzymes. The most important enzyme, that is pancreatic enzyme, that is called as the trypsin, that helps in the digestion of, that is, protein and lipids. Yes. The next, dear students, The pancreatic enzymes, one more function of the pancreatic enzymes to make the acidic food into alkaline. Whatever the food will become acidic in the stomach due to the secretion of hydrochloric acid and different acids, that acid will be neutralized or make it alkaline due to the pancreatic enzymes. Alkaline are the basic. The food will become basic due to the secretion of that is pancreatic enzymes. Next to dear students, after this one, the food will enter into the small intestine, that is very long tube-like structure that is present in that abdominal cavity by extension coil. Yes. The next to dear students, that small intestine is the site of complete digestion of all the nutrients. Here what happens, dear students? Digestion of carbohydrate takes place in the mouth or in the buccal cavity. Digestion of carbohydrate takes place in the liver, in the stomach. The digestion of protein takes place here in the small intestine. The digestion of fat and other remaining all the nutrients, whatever the partially remaining digested food or the digested nutrients, that is carbohydrate and protein, is going to take place in the small intestine. Isn't it? The small intestine is the site of complete digestion. Also, we can say that is in the small intestine. What happens? The protein will digest into the means protein breakdown takes place. The protein will break down into the amino acids. Carbohydrates break down into the simple carbohydrate, that is called as the glucose. The simple units that is protein is built up by the amino acids. That's why amino acids are called as the building blocks of proteins. Number of amino acids combines to form the proteins. Protein breakdown takes place and forms the amino acids. Carbohydrate breakdowns and or it will break down into the glucose and next fat into the simple units, that is fatty acids and glycerol. It means fat will break down into simple units, that is called as the fatty acids and glycerol. Next to dear students, after this one, the food will enter into the large intestine. It is having the three parts, that is ascending, transverse and descending colon, that we can say. Here what happens, dear students? In the large intestine, what happens? The absorption of water is going on. Before we to study, one more point I left here. In the small intestine, what happens? That is connected with the blood vessels. And in the small intestine, what happens? Whatever the food will get digested, complete digestion takes place. Whatever the complete digestion takes place of carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, fats and all, that will be absorbed. The nutrient absorption takes place in the small intestine. The main function of the small intestine is to digest all the nutrients. Next, absorption of all the nutrients and assimilation in the blood. Means that will, whatever the nutrients are absorbed, that will be, whatever the nutrients it gets digested, that will be absorbed and assimilated in the blood, and the blood will circulate all these nutrients to all parts of the body. Next, the rest of the food with the water molecule. Water absorption not takes place in the small intestine. The water absorption takes place in the large intestine. Here also the blood vessels are connected. That takes the water molecule. Isn't it? The water absorption takes place in the large intestine. And next, undigested food will store in a rest part of the digestive system, that is called as the rectum, and that will be removed out through an opening called as the anus. Isn't it? That's all about the today's class. Thank you.